So I finally made an Indian dish. If you've seen some of my earlier videos, I mentioned that I went to try Indian cooking but was intimidated. But I quit being a baby and went for it. I had a couple of mishaps along my journey, but overall it wasn't too bad, and I decided for my first dish to go with cooking chicken tikka masala. For this dish, I'm using a recipe from nishkitchen.com. I'll link their website and video in the description below. The first thing I need to do was go pick up some spices from the market. I already had some of them like turmeric and paprika, but I needed to find ground coriander and garam masala. I went to a small store in the city market in Kansas City where I found both, and they also had chicken tikka on their menu, which I decided to order to compare with my final dish. I also picked up some ginger, lemon, and cilantro. Then I headed home to see if I could succeed in cooking this dish. First thing I did when I got home was to see what I ordered, and then I realized, wait, this is just chicken tikka, which is grilled chicken. It wouldn't make sense to compare my dish to this because there's no masala in their dish. 100% my bad. I don't know why I didn't notice that. Good news is that I had it for lunch the next day and it was delicious. Also, they sold naan, so I grabbed some of that so I could eat it with my dish. I got 1.25 pounds of chicken thighs, which I was going to trim the fat off before cutting into cubes, but then I was like, do I really need to trim the fat? Would it hurt to keep it on? I ended up just leaving it. I threw all the chicken cubes into a bowl, and the recipe says to rub with lemon juice and enough salt. I wasn't sure what enough salt meant, so hopefully this is good enough. While I was squeezing the juice from one whole lemon, I was ready to catch the seeds with my other hand, but was pleasantly surprised when there was none. Then I mixed it all up and threw it in the fridge. For the marinade, I combined 6 garlic cloves, a 3cm piece of ginger, gosh, I hope that's 3 centimeters, 1.5 tablespoons of cumin seeds, half a teaspoon of ground coriander, half teaspoon garam masala, then I forgot which tray was paprika and which one was red chili powder, so I did the sniff test, which, just to let you know, is not the best thing to do with spices. After checking out the appearances, I think I was able to determine the 1 teaspoon of chili powder that I needed to add. Last thing was to include 2 tablespoons of yogurt before blending, and this was a fun process. Just a little bit of sarcasm there. I kept having to scrape off the sides and going back and forth, but I made it work. Then I took the chicken out of the fridge and dumped in the marinade along with 2 tablespoons of oil. The recipe didn't specify which type of oil, so I used olive oil. I just mixed it until the chicken was well coated. While that was chilling in the fridge, I washed and cooked 2 cups of basmati rice. This process is sometimes calming to me, but sometimes not. Every once in a while, it will remind me of frantically running around in the kitchen, washing rice, and hoping the rice cooker will magically cook rice in half the time so it's ready before my parents get home from work. Good times. I wanted the chicken to marinate for at least an hour, so in the meantime, I made sure to have all the spices ready for the masala as well as chop up an onion. Next, I skewered the chicken and pulled out my indoor grill to hopefully get a nice char on the chicken. My skewers towards the end definitely had more meat on them since I realized I was running out of room on my grill pretty quickly. I had to do some readjusting a few times. It was looking and smelling really good. I was excited to see how this would turn out. After they got some nice color, I flipped each one, so it started crackling quite a bit, and I was like, oh, that's a nice sound. But then I realized something. I forgot to fill the bottom tray with water. I forgot the significance of it, but I remember yakitori guy telling me it was okay to just pour it from the top, so that's what I did. In a pan, I sauteed chopped onions and added about a teaspoon of grated ginger. This is only like my 3rd time using this grater, and I still need some practice cause fudge. Yeah. Anyway, I sauteed both a bit and then added half a teaspoon of ground turmeric, 2 teaspoons ground coriander, 1 teaspoon paprika, and 1 teaspoon red chili powder. Sauteed that for a bit, then added about 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. Cooked for a few minutes and added a 4th cup of diced tomatoes. So the instructions at this point says to boil, reduce heat, and simmer for 2 to 3 minutes. I low-key panicked because I was like, there's not enough liquid to boil, let alone simmer, so where did I go wrong? Basically, I just pretended I didn't see that part and moved on to the next step, which was add 1 teaspoon of lemon juice and 3/4 cup of cream. So I spent a lot of time at the store trying to find fresh cream, and I wasn't able to find it. Some Google search results while I was at the store said it was okay to use heavy whipping cream, and I'm not sure how much that would affect the dish, but I just had to go with it since I couldn't find it. I let that simmer while I moved back to the chicken. I removed them from the skewers, and pro tip, don't start from the top or it'll turn into chicken mush. Just start at the bottom, removing 1 piece at a time. I tried one of the pieces and it was delicious. Got the charred spice taste, loved it. After the masala had been cooking for about 5 minutes, I added a 4th teaspoon of garam masala and some chopped cilantro. I gave that a good mix, and then I introduced the chicken to its new friend, the masala. They make a great pairing, don't they? I let them get acquainted with each other in the pan while I checked on the rice. I also threw in the naan to reheat it, and let's just go back to chicken tikka masala to admire its beauty real quick. Then I got a plate of rice and piled the goodness on top. I added some more fresh cilantro, and it was finally ready to give this a try. Y'all, I loved it.
Oh my gosh. Holy smokes.
I could taste it all, savory, spicy, creamy, but there was one problem. One overpowering taste, and let me go back and show you when it happened. Wait, not that far. Right here. Back to a confident Lisa. A Lisa who thought she could eyeball 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. Here was the mistake. Too much lemon juice and that overpowered most of the spices. While it was still good, it would have been better if I dialed this part down. I'm still very happy with how it turned out, and it wasn't as intimidating as I thought it would be. I also tried it with a naan, and that helped cut down the lemon quite a bit, which was nice. I honestly can't wait to explore more dishes, and I would also like to make naan from scratch sometime. Thank you everyone for watching. Leave a comment below on what you think I should cook next. Also, happy Diwali!